Okay, so you spin the nut off there and then you can pull this down. You can see it's still mounted on the threaded rod there. Now we're gonna go ahead and expose the wire so we can get a meter in there and take a reading. So I got my meter leads in the two wire nuts touching, and we are good, no voltage there. So we're gonna go ahead and unhook it and take this light down. I always put the wire nut back on temporarily while we're doing that. So now the power is off to the light. We're going to go ahead and unthread this and take it out. To unthread it, we're literally just going to keep one hand on the light and then you just keep spinning this counterclockwise until it threads out. I got the light down on the ground. We're going to go ahead and unscrew these two screws, take this light mounting bracket out, and then I'll go ahead and get in there and look at the wires, make sure all the connections are tight. There's no cracks or anything in the insulation, and then we'll put the new light mounting bracket on and go from there. Okay, we got that bracket out. There's drywall mud on the wires, but everything looks good. Make sure that these wire nuts are tight, that the wires are not loose anywhere, and I think we're set to go ahead and start putting in the new light. So I'm setting up the new light. We got this threaded rod on this hook. It's going to thread right in here. So I'm going to put this cover in, and then we're going to thread it, and we'll hold the wire so that it doesn't twist as we thread it up. Okay, we're going to mount the new bracket here. Notice how I put one wire through each slot, and we want the ground screw facing down for this to work. We'll go ahead and tighten this up now and move on to the next part. This is going to thread up. We're going to take this top nut off, thread it up through, and then put it back on. I went ahead and took this back down because it was a little snug, but this is what you should end up with. And there's little plastic grommets there because you're going to feed the light wire up through that. I'm going to go ahead and remount this now. Okay, so then take the light and hold it up there. And I held it up there and figured out how much chain I was going to have. And I got my thumb kind of holding it there, the length of what the chain's going to be. And then we're going to add about 6 inches of wire, and we'll cut it farther down the line. Okay, after I cut this wire, I took my pocket knife and I split in between a little ways. And then I'll take and I'll pull it apart farther. And then we'll end up stripping some of these ends off after we feed it up through the light. So this is the leftover grounding wire from the cord that I cut off. I'm going to go ahead and take it up here and loop it through and cut me off a piece so that I can temporarily hang that light from it while I go ahead and do the wiring. I'm going to leave a big loop so that we can come back later with a pair of cutters and just cut this off and pull it out. So now we're going to go ahead and take this wire. We're going to feed these ends up through here and out through here. Okay, you can do this on the ground, but what I'm doing right now is I've cut a piece of chain. It comes with 2 ends like this. And I'm going to take a pair of channel locks and squeeze this end on there, and then we'll have to feed the wire through it before we run it up into the light here. Okay, now that we got the wire fed through the chain, we got to put this cover on next, or this knob that the chain's going to hook to, and it also has the thread that's going to thread into our cover. and then we're going to put our cover on, and then we're going to remount the light temporarily to wire it up. Okay, so we had the light temporarily up there to get our chain length, and then I went ahead and took it back down. This is the cover plate. We need to now thread this over the chain and leave it hang down here, and then we can rehang the light to wire it up. Okay, the wires are run up and through, and I pulled them apart so that I can cut them off closer here. We'll strip them and we'll connect them up. I just pull on it back to make sure it's tight. The same thing for the. Okay, all my connections are made, taped, tucked back up on either side, ground wires hooked up. Now we're gonna go ahead and cut this spare wire I had hanging it, and we'll go ahead and put everything together. Okay, all the chains are in, the wires run up through it, and we're just gonna go ahead and tighten this up to mount that cover plate. And we'll go ahead and give it a try.